all my teacher peeps out there. Let's talk Edpuzzle. Yeah, it's about time we had that conversation. So I'm going to be doing a video series on managing Edpuzzles and all the benefits and tips and tricks that I've learned over the years. Yes, over the years I've been doing a lot on Edpuzzle. In fact, if you're doing anything computer science related, you may have stumbled upon some of my Edpuzzles because I use them all the time. So in part one of the tutorial, I just want to cover what is an Edpuzzle and how it gets used and just a couple little things. And then we'll talk about how to edit them. I'll talk about good tips for grading. I also have another video. I talked about integrating Edpuzzle with Google Classroom, which is really what spawned this idea. And I've had other people request that I talk about how I use Edpuzzle. It's a great tool. It's worth the time. I'm going to just begin with a person pointed out Edpuzzle to me, and it wasn't long before I just got in and I did it. And so for many of you, you could probably just forego this video. If you've done Edpuzzle before, you may find it is so easy to work with, you probably don't even need a tutorial on it, to be honest. But in this first part, I'm just going to go over what is it and how I use it. Basically, Edpuzzle is just this wonderful system that makes it really easy to find videos, assign videos, track whether students watch them or not, and even embed questions in them. And it's a great tool for a flipped model. It's really wonderful for doing remote teaching. And I've been using it in my computer lab a lot to give students additional side projects they can work on to learn additional topics. I use it for when there's a video that does a better job explaining than I would do. And there are many videos out there. I will say there's a lot of not good videos, and so you do have to do a little culling and picking and choosing. But let's just talk about Edpuzzle. As you can see, I'm already here. I am logged in with my account. It integrates really nice with Google Classroom. And so we're just going to take a look at some trending in computers. It starts learning the kinds of videos you use. So let's just talk a little bit about what it is in general. It's just, you basically, if there's a video out there, you can bring it in. If it's on like YouTube or Khan Academy or any of these others, TED Talks, if you can find a good video, you may find that people have already created this. So let's take a look at states of matter. And I have not even previewed this before. First thing is you can see the name of the video, you can see how long the video is, and you can see how many either questions or notes there are. Some videos don't have any questions or notes. Here's a 12-minute video that has nothing on it. Here's one that has 3. All right, so let's just take a look at this one. I'm going to open it up. And at this point, as a teacher, I can edit this. And if I edit it, I have to make a copy myself. And then I can actually edit the questions that are in there. I can also click copy and immediately have it for my class. Or I could just flat out take this one and assign it to my classes without having even looked at this. Bad idea. Don't do that. But it's possible. Don't go there. But let's take a look at this. So here's the video. It is 4 minutes long. If I click on these little buttons here, it's going to take me right to the question. And here's a question. It is an open-ended question. What 2 properties do we look at to determine the state of matter? So they have a question here in the video. It's a good time to put it. And then I can answer this, and then and I can submit it once I answer it. Answer goes here. This just would be as a student. And by the way, as a teacher, you can test these out this very same way. And then, of course, it's going to say to be graded. Now, fortunately for Nancy here, who created this, she is not actually going to get this question, so she doesn't have to grade it for me. The cool thing about this is that you can set these videos that students, you can make it so they have to watch all the video. Not only that, but it's going to track how much of the video they watched, and it will also record their scores. And when the student is doing this, if they're not sure they have the right answer, they can click the little rewatch. And guess what? It takes me back about 30 seconds, and it starts talking about this. Now, they may not be able to, that might not be far enough. They might have to go further back or whatever. But the point is that they can get back into the video, watch it again if they're not sure about the answer. So it's really nice. So notice there's some multiple choice and an open-ended question. So let's take a look at the other questions we have here. Multiple choice. The benefit of a multiple choice question is that the teacher can already create what the right answers are. And so there's a lot of videos that you can publish, send to your students. And once you have the questions, if they're good questions and you think it's perfect, you could just assign it to your class. Students have to do it on their own time, and then when you're ready, you take a look at it. So let's go ahead and take a look. As you can see, there are multiple choice questions, and they're open-ended. There's also little notes you can add, and depending on the video, you could add your own little audio notes if you want. I don't do that because I feel like they don't need to hear my voice. They're already watching another video, and they hear it all the time in the classroom. Why have me talk again? That's just my thought. Maybe I should ask my students. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and go to one of my classes where I've assigned it. I'm going to go to my AP Computer Science Principles class. And you can see here, here's all the videos that I've assigned. I've actually been assigning quite a few. It is an AP class, so there's a lot of lectures to go through. And I'm actually using lectures that are published, and you can see some of these. And right away, at a glance, I can see 4 students have already turned it in. It was just assigned today. And on here, 7 students, 7 students. You can see that not all my AP class students are keeping up with the pace, which is not a good sign. You might want to take me up on that later. But for now, I just wanted to point out, here we go. So now I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to show you what it looks like. But before I do, right away, we have this big red dot here with the number 1. And we have a red dot over here, over here, over here, and we have it over here. And you can probably guess that they're all related. And what this means is I have 7 questions that students have answered and submitted, but I have not yet graded those. Now, the cool thing is I assigned this one today. So I'm going to go ahead and go there. And I'm going to pause the video and get there so that I can, once I'm there, I'm going to blur the side so you don't have to see them. So here we go. Okay, so this is the window I see when I'm ready to grade it. Now, on the watch, I can click it again, and immediately pulls up the students that have watched this. And because they're all multiple choice questions, there's already a grade here. I didn't have to do anything other than to release it. And you can see that we've got 4 students that are way on top of it. They're all over this. And then I hover, and it tells me how much of the video they watched, 100%, and it tells me the grade here. Now, from here, what I will do is, by the way, you can see it's already connected to Google Classroom. So one of the things you can do is you can then assign it in Google Classroom. They will see it. If when I assigned it, if I attached it and I clicked post on Google Classroom, then that will actually appear in Google Classroom as an assignment, and then I can do some edits to it. However, what I do with this is I give them a grade based on how much of the video they watched and what their score is here. And so that's just the overview. And it's really nice. You can also click over here and you can see the questions. So let's click that. And now we can see of the 4 people that answered it, 4 of them got it right. So they all got this particular one right, but only 2 got this question right. And so you can get your data on how they do on the questions. Maybe the question needs a little help. Maybe this is a sign it's time to go back in and reteach that. So there's the rest of that is really up to you. So hang tight. Well, that was mildly embarrassing because I got a phone call right in the middle. I'm going to leave that there because this is part of the new normal, right? We're trying to manage stuff. I'm teaching out of this room here. Here, take a look. Take a look over here. See, I'm on the 2nd floor, which I got to say this is pretty nice. We call this the cabin room, and so this is where I'm teaching out of. So anyway, so we got the idea here. We can get analysis. We've got all the information we need. So this is pretty much in a nutshell what Edpuzzle is. In my next video, I'm going to show you how to edit and how to find content and to set things up and just kind of how I do it. And then on the final one, I'll talk about grading and some of the little tips and tricks that I do with that. So stay tuned for more, and thanks so much for watching.